Welp, I guess the Big Brother 26 season has arrived. We have a new cast to assess. I'm just going to give my quick first impressions of the cast. There were some interviews, but they're kind of like snippets. But there was a lot of snippets, so I guess I have some information on this cast. I'm recording this on Monday night, but I won't post it until Tuesday night. So if there's more information that comes out on Tuesday night about this cast, I'll maybe try and add some more information, but probably not. So you're just going to get my Monday night first impressions on Tuesday. The cast, once again, kind of skews older like last season, or at least relatively older to some seasons as of the past decade or more. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, because some of the older castmates on this cast, don't know if I love them. But let's get into it. We're going to start with one of the oldest, in Angela Murray, who is 50 years old. She's a real estate agent. I will say about Angela, I loved her passion in one of the interviews. She definitely loves Big Brother. I definitely think she's a big fan of Big Brother. Some of her answers kind of didn't go together. She says she sometimes says too much, but also says she wants to play this low-key game. She said she wants to play, like, if there's any past player she wants to play like, it's Cody, who won, of course, Big Brother Small Stars. There's a few different things here. One thing is he won his season because of a ton of pre-game alliances. So his strategy in that season was not the strategy that she was talking about, in my opinion, which was this low-key game where he's able to stay calm and really talk to people on a level-headed nature to get them to do what you want them to do. And a lot of people did what he wanted them to do because that was the pre-game alliance that they were supposed to do that in. But also, she says that she sometimes says too much. So that kind of goes against her game plan here, if she's going to say too much in this. But I think Angela has potential because she is such a big fan. Now, a lot of these super fans in recent seasons, I have not enjoyed watching it whatsoever. So I hope this is different from Angela. She's older, so maybe she will be smarter the way she goes about this. But honestly, as a whole, I'm not expecting good gameplay out of this cast because of the way production is casted for ages now. But we'll talk about that at the end if I remember. But Angela, overall, there's potential. I don't know if I'm going to like her, especially if she teams up with some of these other old folks that I don't like, or that I'm probably not going to like. But for now, Angela's kind of like thumbs in the middle for me. Next, I'm going to talk about Quinn Martin. Quinn is 25 years old from Oklahoma. She is a nurse recruiter. I don't know what to think about Quinn. Quinn has a hard first impression for me to assess. The one thing that jumped out to me is that she said she wants to play like a rat. And usually in Big Brother, I don't love the rat players because most of the time the rats don't do a good job being a rat. Because when you're a rat, you want to always spread everyone else's information. But if you do it too much and you're chatting too much, you're going to get caught being a rat. You're going to get rat trapped. So Quinn, she doesn't seem like somebody who talks too much. So maybe that will help her in that case if she's going to play like a rat. But if she does play like a rat, I am not too certain that she's going to do a very good job of it. And I see this protein shake in the background that's pissing me off, so I'm going to change that real quick. The drawbacks of recording in the kitchen just because it has the best lighting. But anyway, let's move on to Leah Peters, the biggest recruit of the season, who's 26, from Pittsburgh, a VIP cocktail server. And I saw some people getting excited because some VIP cocktail servers of the past, Janelle and Rachel, made for some good TV. So if Leah can do that, that would be fun to watch. But do I think Leah's going to be good TV? No. However, am I going to hate on her for being a recruit? Not really. Like I said, some of the superfans I've seen on this show lately, I have not enjoyed watching. Some of the superfans I see on Survivor, I do not enjoy watching, although that's more of a production problem than anything. Leah doesn't seem like she knows much about this game whatsoever. One of her highlights of the game is that the Big Brother house gets new decorations every season. And I'm like, I do kind of enjoy the decorations this season for once, but if that's one of the main things you have to talk about when you're coming into the Big Brother house, I can't expect much gameplay. But we've seen in the past that there are plenty of recruits that learn the game quickly. I don't know if Leah's going to be one of those recruits that do, and I don't know if I'm going to enjoy watching Leah, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, I originally recorded this on Monday, the video portion, but now it's Tuesday, and I see that Leah is not a recruit. She actually does have quite the knowledge of Big Brother history, so she actually may be more of a super fan than a recruit. I guess she just got confused with the question about which players she would play like and thought that they were talking about the players in the game that she didn't know yet, which means she's probably dumb, which tracks with Big Brother casting. But alas, she's actually a fan, and I think maybe might be underestimated. Tucker is next. He's 30, from Boston, currently lives in Brooklyn. He's a marketing and sales executive. I actually like Tucker. I think he has a lot of upside. I think he's going to be a good talker. I think he will be able to form connections in this house. Maybe even, like, if Tucker can form some outside of the box connections in this house that I think he has potential to do, Tucker's going to go a long way. He talked about not wanting to, kind of be seen as a target. And Tucker can be a person that is seen as a target. So it's good that he knows that he cannot be seen as a target. So that is another thing I enjoyed from Tucker. Obviously, I'm going to have to see more, but just judging from his pregame interviews, I think he is going to have a lot of potential to form connections. And if he can form as many connections as I think he has the potential to do, then Tucker has the big upside that I said he did. Kenny Callie is next. He's 52. I believe he's the oldest. He's from Boston. He's a former undercover cop. Now I see there's a lot of backlash because he's a cop. And is he going to just want to play like Derek? Is he going to, want to take out the minorities because he's a cop? That's a lot of jumping to conclusions. I'm trying not to jump to conclusions with these people, even though my conclusions that I jumped to last season were pretty accurate in the end. One person in this lineup is going to make it hard to not jump to conclusions, but Kenny's not that for me. I know he said in one of his things that he wants to take out the sensitive people, but of course on social media I felt like that got spun, because when he was talking about the sensitive people, he was talking about the people who are going to play emotionally. But of course social media took that as he's going to take out the people that get hurt feelings because of, things that you say. And that he has the potential to do so. But I'm not going to say that just yet about Kenny. I didn't get that from Kenny yet. I feel like Kenny seems very level-headed, and I think he has the potential to play like Derek to an extent. He's going to want to play like Derek. That's just the cop way to play when they come on in this game. They think they could play like Derek, and he's going to be the king of the hill, sitting on top, having an alliance work for him. I think Callie, what's his name, right? No, Kenny. I think Kenny Callie is going to work with some of the older people, but I hope for his game's sake that he is able to make an alliance with a couple of the younger folks. If Kenny's going to go far in this game, I think he's going to need to do that. Because I think if the older folks or the parents all try to work together, then it's not going to be cute for them. I think that's going to be found out right away. But then again, he was an undercover cop, so maybe he will be able to keep that on the low. I don't know. I'm actually interested to see how he plays. We'll see if he's problematic. I don't necessarily sense that yet, because I think that was spun on social media just because he said he wants to get out the sensitive players But when he talked about it, he went on to say the emotional players, which makes sense. Emotional players can be good TV, but also could be really annoying as a game player, so I get it. We probably won't be getting outside the box connections with Kenny. Instead, we'll probably be getting Kenny and Tucker working together just because they're both from Boston and Tucker knows Cody. And when Cody played, he worked with a cop, so I can see that connection happening. If that is the case and those two end up working together and the rest of the house cannot figure that out, then, well, I would actually be expecting that because that's typically what happens with Big Brother cast these days. They don't seem to find out the obvious. Lisa is 33. She's from LA. She's a celebrity chef. Yeah. As somebody currently living in LA, I could see it. She got crazy eyes. Lisa has crazy eyes. That was honestly my main assessment from her. She has crazy eyes. I don't care if the knives in that house are plastic. Hide the knives from Lisa. Because honestly, outside of the crazy eyes, I don't know if I got much else. I think she's an oddball. I think that's why she was cast. She was cast as this season's oddball. In the past, the person that annoyed me in preseason interviews has changed my mind. That was Brittany on season 23. But the person who annoyed me in preseason interviews on season 24, Brittany again, did not change my mind. And she kind of gives me those vibes. I don't necessarily like her, and I don't know if I'm going to like watching her, but that's what I find of her so far. Chemo, 35 from Hawaii. He's a mattress sales rep. He's also very over the top. I can see how he could probably get on some people's nerves. I like him. He's not necessarily my favorite, but I like his personality, and I think I'm going to be rooting for him. I hope he sticks around for quite a while. I don't know if his big personality is going to help him form connections or make him a big target because he has such a big personality. What I like about him is that I can just tell by a couple of his answers and just by his personality that Chemo's dying to be a messy bitch in this game. And I am rooting for Chemo to be a messy bitch in this game. Because if we are going to have an entertaining season, I have no faith in gameplay being entertaining on the show anymore. So it needs to be mess and chaos and fights. And I feel like Chemo wants to give us good television. That is what I read from his interviews. Chemo is dying to be a big Big Brother character while also giving us good TV. I hope he succeeds in that. But as a game player, honestly, I have no clue. We'll have to see. Mackenzie is 22 from Houston. She's a construction project manager. You know, she's the typical basic cute white girl. I didn't honestly get much else from her. I think her being pretty is going to either do one of two things. It's either going to make her a big target because she's pretty, or it's going to make her be able to form a lot of connections with the guys. She's like the primed for a showmance. With who, I'm not sure. She's young. She's 22. Tucker's 30. Cam, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what else to expect from her yet. I'll have to see her. I'm not going to judge a book by her cover, but she didn't give me a whole lot in her interviews other than she's pretty and she's a basic 22-year-old. Next up, Brooklyn Rivera. She's 34, from Georgia, resides in Dallas. She's a business administrator. Brooklyn, I hate everything about her. Obviously, the biggest thing coming out is that she's friends with Aaron from Big Brother 15. And I came into this not wanting to judge books by their cover. But Aaron from Big Brother 15 is the reason why the past decade of this show has been so problematic and controversial. Aaron started the ball. It's production's fault for not doing anything that season and taking forever to do anything in other seasons. But Aaron started it all. And so for production to put a friend of hers in the game is just so dumb. It's what to expect from Big Brother production. They always do something that just makes no sense and makes you scratch your head. And now Aaron is out trying to get on Twitter because her friends in the game wanting to watch live feeds. And it's like, She's stayed out of the Big Brother limelight all this time because of her controversy. She hasn't changed much. So like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. And I sat here for a while and it's like, should you judge people by their friends? And most of the time I do. I'm not gonna lie. I do, because most of the times people have a lot of similarities with their friends. And if you're friends with somebody problematic, you're probably problematic yourself. But I sat there and I'm like, let's hear her answers. And one of the first things I hear her say is that she wants to work with a showmance. And I hate that. I hate players that want to work with showmances. I hate players that want to try and get people together. She's old and married, so I feel like she just wants to live vicariously through some younger people in the game. I say she's old and she's younger than me, so let me shut up for a second. But she's old and married, and I think playing with a showmance is dumb. Now, last season it somehow worked. I don't even want to talk about last season. I hated last season. Last season was the worst gameplay on the show ever. It was. And a lot of that was a twist because two players got voted out and came back into the game and got to keep playing. And one of those players won the game. And they also worked with a showman. So maybe working with a showman can work because it gets you on production side. But like, is it good to watch? No. And I just want the season to be good to watch in some way. And I don't even know if she will get into good mess. Because of her friendship with Aaron, I only feel like she will go into bad mess. And that's not something I want to watch either. So, yeah, she's my least favorite by far. For various reasons, those were the main two. But at least we get to talk about my favorite next. And that is Matt, who's 25, from Georgia. He's a tech sales rep. I'm not going to lie to y'all. The thing that made me love Matt the most is that he said he wants to target the super fans. Now look, I know a lot of the people that watch these videos are probably super fans. Am I a super fan if I'm doing these videos? I guess. But watching Matthew, if that was his name, on Big Brother 24, watching Corey last season, watching super fans has been not fun. Matthew was great at challenges. Challenge beast. But anything else of the game, he sucked at. He was not good at maneuvering whatsoever as a super fan. Super fans are pretty awkward socially. Corey was terrible socially. And Corey, the biggest thing with Corey is that he thought he was smarter than everyone else because he was a super fan. I would love to see those kind of players get outplayed early and get kicked out of the game. But another thing about Matt that I love is not just that he's targeting Twitter's faves. It is that he is going to be so good at the social game. If he is like he says he is. But just hearing him talk, like going into this game, he wants to form connections. This guy wants to play a classic social game, which usually works well. Does that always get the win? No. But does it usually get people far? Yes, because you're making these connections, you're building connections, and you're not just building you're not just building alliances, you're building connections. And doing both those things at once is a great thing. Now, if you're building those connections and stabbing in the back, it could hurt you with the jury vote, obviously, as we've seen many times. But I don't know. I think Matt is going to be good. He gives good energy to me, which is a big thing. But, who knows? Maybe he'll be problematic and I'll hate him. Next up is Chelsea. Chelsea is 27 from Rancho Cucamonga, California. She's a nonprofit director. Didn't love her. I think she was kind of annoying, and I think she might come off annoying to people in the game. But if she doesn't come off annoying, I do think she will be able to make some social connections. I feel like she is a social person. I just don't know what kind of energy she's going to bring amongst this cast. I can see her being an outcast in this cast for some reason. But I think she's going to try hard, and I don't have much else to say about her. Next up was Joseph Rodriguez, 30, from Tampa, Florida, video store clerk. Video store clerk? What are those still around? I just realized that that was his occupation. And it confuses me as much as his mustache does. Like, he's going for the Hulk Hogan mustache, but it's like uneven on one of the sides. It's not great. Besides the mustache, which obviously is a great way to get cast on this show, is have ugly hair in some respect, whether it's your head or your mustache, apparently. I think that's how Joseph got casted. I don't hate him, though. He comes across like a regular guy, which I like because we don't see enough of that on Big Brother. Can my ice maker shut the hell up? And if he's a video store clerk, I don't know if he is a regular guy, because I don't know who still works at a video store. But he has regular guy vibes, which I enjoy. I don't know how far that will get him amongst this cast, but I feel like he might be surprising. I hope he plays as hard as he talks about doing, and that he's not afraid to do what he has to do to win this game. People have said that the past few seasons, and then they don't do a whole lot. So if he's an active player, I think I'm actually going to like him a lot. But if he's not, I'm probably going to be talking massive shit about him and his ugly mustache. Cedric is next, who's 21, from California, but currently lives in Idaho. He's a former Marine at 21. Whatever that means. He was kind of a lot. Like, I liked him, but the main vibe that he gave me was like younger person that thinks he knows it all, which gets on my nerves. And I feel like he's going to come into the game with that vibe, which isn't great. So if he comes in with that vibe, I could totally see him overplaying early. But at the same time, he seemed social, so I think that can help him. So he has potential. His age is the problem, I guess, for me. He said something about how he wants to be good TV too, or something in that respect. I can't remember exactly what he said. It was like that he's going to be fun to watch. I don't know. I'll be the judge of that. But I didn't hate him. I liked him. I think he has potential, but he has potential to play hard, fast. Rubina from LA. I don't have her age here. She's an event bartender. Loved Rubina. I think she was my favorite of the girls, although there was a close second as well who I haven't got to. Rubina seems like she has big personality. I love Filipinas. They're very hilarious. They're very entertaining. They're very passionate. They're very smart. I think Rubina has potential to be very fun to watch. I'm excited to see her play. I didn't get a whole lot of good vibes from her gameplay potential. But I got the vibes that she's smart enough to know what she's doing. I don't know how big of a fan that she is, but going into the season, I don't care because I've talked a lot of shit about superfans already. I just want to see Rubina play. For now, I think she's going to be good TV. Will she be a good player? That remains to be seen. Tikor Claudia, I need to go. I'll figure out how to pronounce her name when I actually hear her say her name, which I did not hear in any of her videos. So I'm going to call her T for now. I don't know if it's Tikor, but T was my second favorite woman. She is 23, from Chicago via London. She currently lives in Atlanta. She's a crochet business owner. She still has some of her London accent from growing up in London. She's cute as a button. I love her personality already. I feel like she knows the game, which is good. Her age is going to be interesting. I hope she's not an early boot because I really do want to see her play. I feel like there's just this weird potential for somebody. I want to see this season people step outside the box to have not these big alliances with people, these smaller little alliances that you don't see coming. We saw a lot of duos last season for sure. The last 2 seasons, we've seen some duos in some regards. But not that kind of duo that that's like undercover that you don't see coming. I want somebody to do that. I feel like T has the potential to do that. I would love it to be with Tucker. I just feel like those two would be the two you don't see coming together. But will that happen? I don't know. I think somebody talked about that, doing that. I think it was actually, where's her ass? Quinn was talking about that. She wanted to play like Jason guy. So maybe Quinn will be that person that has that undercover alliance. But T, so far I like her. I hope she does well. Lastly is Cam, 25 from Maryland, a physical therapist. Cam has a ton of potential too. Similar to Tucker, where he seems very social. He said something interesting that he wanted to work with parents, that he wanted to work with some of the older players. So that can be an interesting duo of him and Kenny if they actually would think outside the box for once on this show. That would be very fun to watch. As for Cam, though, as a player, I think he's going to be good at comps. I think he's going to have a great social game. I think he has a ton of potential in this game. I don't see him as a person that will overplay because he seems level-headed. He did not seem like Cedric, who very high energy, very much potential to overplay. Cam was more low-key. Cam was smooth. Like, Cam gave me smooth vibes for sure. So he is one to watch, I think. As a whole, not much else to say. I just remembered that Mackenzie said that she wanted to play like Casey from Big Brother 20, which makes sense. Casey was good at comps, but also under the radar in a big alliance. I can see Mackenzie actually doing well with that gameplay if that is the route she goes. But overall, I don't expect good gameplay from this cast just because the gameplay we've gotten from Big Brother in recent years has been so bad. The bar is literally past the floor. So I'm hoping for drama and fights. That's all I want from this season is drama, fights, mess. And I think there's some people in there, Chemo, with potential to cause a lot of drama. So maybe even Chelsea. I think she has it in her to cause some drama, but we'll see. I hope they give us something. I hope it's a good season in some way. Please, for the love of God. I know there's some bad news about the feeds that I'll just get into some other time because I don't feel like talking about it tonight. Yeah, that's my cast assessment so far. My little first impressions.